The absolute basics of the Christian faith. Who is Jesus Christ? So as we said before, the story of God goes like this. In the beginning, the Trinity was whole and complete, and then created as a free gift of love. Humans were given real freedom and real responsibility, so they could be real relationship. But instead of responding with the thankfulness we owed to God for the gift of life, the universe, and everything, we ungratefully disobeyed. And because of our disobedience, our relationship with God was broken, and the punishment that fell on us was death. But God had a plan. Through a series of promises and marvelous works, God recreated a people, Israel, who would know God and have a relationship with Him. The story of the Old Testament is that story. Broken relationship and a broken people are brought back into connection with God. Through the covenants with Noah, Abraham, Moses, and David, God reestablishes connection with humanity so He can have a people that represent Him. In His covenant with Abraham, God picks a man through whom He will create a nation. Abraham will have a son, and his children will dwell in the promised land. In His covenant with Moses, God picks a man to tell the Israelites how to live as God's people. They will not simply be a nation, but a holy nation. In these covenants, God establishes a people again. He rebuilds a community that will represent and resemble Him on earth. But God didn't just want to have one people at one place to have connection with Him. He wanted all people to have connection with Him. This plan is seen way back in God's covenant with Abraham, where God promises that through Abraham, all the peoples of the earth will be blessed. And so the second person of the Trinity, Jesus Christ, came down from heaven to make a permanent connection between God and all of humanity. One of the key images for this connection is given to us in the Old and New Testaments. In Genesis 28:12, Jacob dreams of a ladder that goes from heaven to earth and has angels ascending and descending on it. In John 1:51, Jesus describes Himself as that ladder, a ladder that stretches all the way up to the heavens and comes all the way down to the earth. This ladder is perhaps the clearest image for what Jesus did when He became human. The word that we use for Jesus coming down to earth is incarnation. Incarnation means taking on flesh. The incarnation, which we read about in the beginning of the Gospels, describes the way that the Son of God, who is a divine spirit, added humanity to who He was. In the incarnation, the Son of God now has a human nature as well as a divine nature. This means that Jesus had everything about Him that was truly human, but He was also at the same time fully divine. Both natures, both kinds of thing, were united in one person, the God-man, Jesus Christ. And here's why this is important. If Jesus isn't fully human, then He didn't come all the way down, and we can't get on the ladder. But if Jesus isn't fully divine, then He can't take us all the way back up to God. We can climb the ladder, we can't get up there. But the amazing thing is this. In His great humility, Jesus went all the way from heaven down to earth, and He hit the ground with a thud and got dirt on Him. Not only did He become a human, but He was born to lowly status. Jesus was a construction worker's son from a one-stoplight town in a tiny oppressed country at the edge of the Roman Empire. He grew up poor, worked with His hands, mixed with everyday folks. He ate, drank, laughed, cried, suffered, and died. He took on all that was truly human. There can be no clearer demonstration of God's love than this. God became a man. So now when we look to God, we can see in the Holy Trinity, Jesus Christ, a real human being, staring back at us from the right hand of God the Father, beckoning us up the ladder.